Good evening, everybody. How's
What's
everybody doing?
happening?
What's a happening? Well, getting dark way too damn early.
Oh man, 5:30 Eastern Time. Indiana is.
Good
Oh boy, I gotta mute that one. Hold on.
evening,
Sorry,
everybody.
I was using my phone as the messenger because it's easier.
Yeah,
But now here in northern Indiana at 5:30, it might as well be midnight.
yep. Hell, it's all right. It's all right.
What do you got going on, Hurt? What do you know?
Well, life or news or both.
I don't care. I'm gonna
Now,
make some adjustments right here.
make your adjustments. I'm sitting kind of low in mine right now. How's that? That's better. That puts me a little bit better in the screen. There we go. Oh, just started my new job, dealing with some rain last week, working long hours.
For
So,
those of you that don't know, Hurt did switch jobs, and as one of his best friends, I'm telling you, the other day I was shocked. I'm like, man, what? I ain't talking to you. Hurt and I usually talk every night, or at least every other night. But 9 times out of 10, it's 5 nights out of 7. And I said, man, what's going on? 17 hours today, buddy. 17 hours. So poor
yeah,
guy. He's actually working for a living,
I
not
am.
asking for handouts.
Yes. Got to pay the bills. Got to do what it takes to pay the bills.
Well, you have to because you probably don't qualify for assistance or SNAP or any of that
No,
bullshit.
we don't qualify for nothing. Those
I
are
know
my,
you well enough to know, even if you did qualify, you ain't taking one fucking handout. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop with the F if I can, but this man ain't taking no handouts.
no. I got deer in the backyard I kill if I need some food. So, got me a nice 8 point this year already. Wait for Big Doe to walk out so I can take her. I ain't gonna waste my tag on a little one.
Right. And on that topic, before we get into what we really want to talk about, my wife, Sherry, come around the corner of the kitchen the other morning and she got startled. Now, a flashback 2 years ago, we had neighbors' cows get out and they were eating her flowers right in front of the picture window in the living room. And I'm like, I come out of the kitchen with coffee going, damn, because they're right there. Well, the other day she had one of them bucks that had a tine going forward and tine going backward and it was slow moving and yada yada. So it's hunting season for us rednecks. Hurt got himself one. I could have killed that one, but I had to tell my family, especially the kids, that meat wasn't going to be any good. But so anyway, it's hunting season. We could be hunting right now, but we're taking the time. It's been 2 weeks. Last week was rough. Unfortunately, my family experienced another. To we're over it. We had a house fire 2 Friday nights ago. It's not bad. We're living in it, but just more trouble. You know what I mean? So we didn't do a show. So it's been 2 weeks, but here we are. And in 2 weeks, a lot has happened.
Tons, tons.
Number one, Ma'am Donnie was elected, and I know Hurt and I, probably a lot of you felt like, man, there's no way. We're hoping there's no way. There's no way. But we knew deep down he was going to get elected. And then when you got the results and found out 11% of New Yorkers actually voted, that's why the man was voted in. Because if 40% of you got out there in New York City and voted against him, he wouldn't have got it. But I understand capitalists. I understand conservatives. I understand moderates. You all had jobs. And you assume guys like Hurt and I in New York City would do the voting for you. Well, guess what? You effed up, and you effed up bad. But we do have good news, don't we, Hurt?
Yes, yes. We got well, yes and no.
The
Yes.
good, well, the good news is, man, that Ma'am Donnie asked Trump for a meeting, after insulting Trump in the entire city of New York and all CEOs and all rich people. Like his acceptance speech was 100% opposite of what he was campaigning, and he sounded like an Adolf Hitler or a Mao. So Trump took him for his word and said, I'll take your meeting. And apparently the meeting went well. Hurt and I have our own opinions about this. But Mamdani, hopefully after meeting with Trump and finding out about federal budgets, federal help, state help, his governor has already said, don't count on me if you're going to be radical. But the man went so radical and then went and met with Trump and then left Trump's meeting and had good remarks about his meeting with Trump. So you New Yorkers might be okay, but you still voted in the socialist, communist, Muslim.
Well, if you read NBC after the meeting, I just found this out. Thank you very much. Mamdani called Trump a fascist and a despot still. So after they had a good meeting, he goes back and starts calling names again. So
yeah, once he was out of the handshake.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you know Trump pulled him in and towered over him and said, now listen, boy. I mean, this is a 34-year-old kid. And I say that at 34, I'd be insulted if you called me a kid. But now that I'm considerably older, I realize this dude is 34. Won the mayorship of New York City on communist socialist views. I'm blown away, but this is the world we live in. But he's a kid. In the grand scheme of things, he's a kid. And I guarantee Trump pulled him in like he does Putin, like he does the Pope, like he does anybody, because that man don't give two shits. I guarantee you he left that meeting going, all right, Mr. President, all right, I'll do what you tell me to do. I'll do what you tell me to do. And that's the only good news I have for New York City, because the rest of it's just bad.
I really just got to wait. I mean, you hear two versions of everything. You know, he's on the Democratic Party, so they talk out of both sides of their mouth. Yeah. They say what you want to hear and do what you don't want them to do. So, promise you the world, and then shit down your house. You know, I mean,
it's costing them big time right now. Look at the indictments.
Yep.
You got Congresswoman, you got ex-FBI director, you've got, there's 9 indictments. 8 of them are against Democrats. One's against a moderate. He's an independent, but I call him a moderate. But for the last, let's call it 10 years since Trump came down that escalator and said, I'm going to run. And then he had it for 4 years and then missed the last 4 years with Biden. Now he's back. For the last 10 years, every chance they get, they want to bash him. And then they made the ultimate screw up these last couple of weeks. The Mamdani one is one of them, because Mamdani said, screw Trump. The Democrats could have come off strong, even if they looked retarded. Mamdani could have just got in front of the cameras before and after the meeting and said, F Trump and F Republicans, F constitutionalists. But he didn't. He came out like a little soft kitten and just had a little bath, right? That's my first thought. And the other one was the biggest topic in the room is the Epstein files, right? The Democrats forgot that Trump was cornered and looked cornered, right? And so did Majority Green. They forgot that they had positioning, and then Trump realized, or somebody told him, hey, man, you're not in these files. So just tell the public and tell the entire world, like Hurt just told me before the show, because I said, Trump just basically told America. Hurt's like, no, he told the world. He told everybody that was listening, yes, I know I can release these files, but if Congress and Senate, Democrats and Republicans do it, it's not political then, right? I didn't use it against my political opponent. I didn't use it against Bill Clinton or whoever else. The American government as a whole decided to release it. And I think that's brilliant. And that's where, leading into one of the other stories tonight that Hurt and I were going to talk about with Majority Green, she missed out on. She doesn't know how to play poker. She doesn't understand how to play politics. And it's awesome for Trump siders and supporters, but it's also great for the world and everybody in the United States, because when this opens up in the next 27 days, because they have 30 to release the files, and that was 3 days ago he signed it, the entire country and the entire world is going to find out Trump was telling the truth. But there are Republicans and Democrats, there's CEOs, and there's foreign adversary leaders, kings, queens, whatever you want to call it, that are on this list too. And now you'll understand why Trump couldn't just release it on his own, because he'd look like what? A dictator. So then he gives it to Congress and Senate, and they say overwhelmingly release it. Now Trump's free. He's free.
Yes, and people, please realize this is a big game. This is a big game. Obama had these files. Biden had these files. Everybody's had these files. If something was on there about Trump, it would have been released. It would have been released before his last campaign came out. There's nothing with Trump. It's not going to happen. Democrats are digging their own hole. Nobody wants to put it out. Congress won't vote on it to put it out because they know who's on there. Some of them are on there.
But look what he got them to do. They voted on it, not him.
Yep. So, you got all this going on, and Trump's a big poker player. He's a big poker player. And you get pissed off at him. You say, oh, he ain't keeping his word on this. No, he's playing the hand he's dealt.
Yep.
And he's playing a really good game. Really good game.
Look what just happened with Schumer and the shutdown. And Hurt talked about this pre-show. My analogy or how I tie it together is, we all do know, even Democrats, because even the liberal media is saying Schumer's days are done, right? Because he effed this up. He dropped the ball. But here you had the shutdown going, and Schumer looked like an idiot at the very end. And then immediately, substantially or circumstantially, the Epstein files were voted on by Congress. And what did Schumer do? He was the first one as minority leader. This is what blows my mind. And y'all need to open your ears to this. As minority leader in the Senate, as soon as Congress voted on it, what Chuck Schumer do? Get right in front of a camera and said, don't even send it to the Senate. We've already voted on it unanimously. He knew he was just screwed. Now slow it down, y'all. He just got beat up with the shutdown stuff and immediately tried to be the hero. The majority leader didn't make this announcement. They allowed Schumer, right? The Republican majority leader allowed Schumer to make the announcement to the country and to the world and to the presidency. The Congress just voted on it. Don't even send it to the Senate. Send it right to his desk, because we unanimously agree with Congress. Open up the files. Now think about that. The Republican majority leader let Chuck, right, a Democrat, tell the whole world we're opening up the files. This is exactly what Trump wanted. He wanted Senate and Congress to vote on it. And the sidebar or the extra, if he could get it, was having a Democrat tell the entire world on camera, we vote with you. And so now it's easy to open up the files. But this is politics. For any of you that don't understand, Chuck Schumer should not have been the one in the Senate saying, we already voted unanimously, so don't even send it here. They allowed him to say it so he could take the bait, right? So they can't spin it later and say, well, the Republicans pushed this down our throat. We didn't want the Epstein files over it. No. Democrats said, Trump, you could do it on your own. And Trump said, I know, but I want Congress, Senate to vote. And then at the same time, he allowed a Democrat senator to say, show the files. That's brilliant.
I don't mind it. But on that same subject, you're talking about shutdown. Everybody, they just got their butts handed to them on the shutdown.
Yeah.
The whole shutdown was over Obamacare. Okay. They didn't get what they wanted. No Republicans voted for Obamacare. It was a Democrat one-sided bill that got through. Their tax credits expired. They were still in office knowing they were going to expire.
Correct.
They said, oh, we're going to use this against Trump. Let's let them expire and we can put it all on him, which Trump didn't give. The House and Senate, really surprisingly, held the line like they should have. And now,
except Rand Paul. Except Rand
Paul. But I mean, the majority of them, they held the line.
Yep.
But now you got, this is the funny thing, people, and realize and watch the progression. If you don't really listen, you need to, because as soon as the Democrats lost on the shutdown, what happened? They brought emails from years back about Trump doing email from Epstein.
Yep.
It's a game. When they lose, they try to throw dirt, and they can't. And every time they throw dirt, it gets thrown back on them twice as hard because it's not working, people. It's not.
And you know who's the best at it? These games? Trump.
Trump is they can't play his game. They're not on his level.
The zero. Why did Pelosi step down? Is it because she's old? No.
She can't handle it.
Why did Green step down? We'll talk about that the next show. I mean, I don't hate Green.
I don't hate Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she don't know how to play the game that Trump was playing.
Correct.
She wanted this, she wanted that, and Trump's like, hold on, let this play out, let this go like I want, and we all win. Yep. Nope.
She insisted that he released the files, and he was trying to convince her, listen, isn't it better? And take all bullshit BS aside, whether it's Trump or Obama, the statement he made, I would agree with. Isn't it better, instead of me as the president making this ultimate decision, that you get an overall majority, almost perfect, from Congress and Senate? That way the country's bearing, they're bearing the responsibility and the request. This ain't a dictator, because you and I know, and anybody else listening knows, when the Democrats said a week or two ago, well, Trump can do it on his own. Well, so could have Biden. But if Trump did it on his own, and let's just say the top 3 or 5 or the majority of that list on the Epstein files ends up being lefties, CEOs, and ex-politicians, Trump would look like what? A dictator.
Yep.
So this is brilliant that he said, I know I can, and I will if I have to, but let's see if we can convince Congress and Senate to vote on it. It's kind of like when the Jews told Pontius Pilate, crucify Jesus. And Pontius Pilate, the Roman general of that city, said, I'll wash my hands of this. You guys do it. Right?
Correct.
This is a brilliant political move. And Trump did say today and yesterday even that he thinks that him and Green can get along in the future and everything. Because once she sees this play out, she's going to be sitting on her sofa with her 4 kids and husband going, shit.
Yep.
I should have trusted him.
Yep.
He's no idiot.
There's one subject we didn't talk about that I really want to touch base on because I'm really pissed off about it.
Call of Duty.
As a military vet, you had 6 members between the House and Senate put out a freaking video basically telling our military to not obey the orders from the commander in chief.
Treason.
Now they're trying to walk it back a little bit, saying that we didn't say that. We just said that they have the ability to refuse an order that's not lawful. Bullshit.
Yep.
You said what you said, and then you get on a talk shows and you're saying that Trump did make some unlawful orders. Trump has not made any unlawful orders.
What do you and I ask all these? And I know for those of you who don't know, Hurt and I intentionally get on TikTok and YouTube, but a lot of TikTok and intentionally try to get in these debates. And he's absolutely right. They spun this so fast. They quickly said, there were 6 of them that said, do not listen to him. Military people do not listen. And then as soon as they found out that that was kind of treasonous, they spun it back and said, what we're saying is, but so then I get on TikTok last night and these people immediately, I mean, absolutely, like her just said, they're saying, well, they never said that. They never said that. And that is my biggest problem. And I know Hurt agrees with this. They know for a fact that these people said that, and they know for a fact that they're spinning it now, but they'll literally get on their own little, 11, 12 people following them, like our show currently, and swear up and down they didn't break the law. They weren't treasonous. They don't want Trump going to jail. It's mind-boggling.
It's sedition. Exactly
There
what it is. And they should be tried for that. It's gotten too far, and it's gone too far. When you start telling military people not to follow orders from the President of the United States, name me one order he has given them that is not lawful. That's all I'm asking. Show me where one order he has given is not lawful. You can't do it.
No.
But they have the balls to put this on video.
Well, if you know what, if I had to be honest, immediately when he started, our Navy, I guess it was our Navy, started bombing those drug boats.
Yep.
And Hurt knows I'm being facetious because I mean, a small part of me thought this is international waters. I could spin this if I was a Trump hater saying the only reason it's legal is because it's international waters, but he should remember that because the news said he shouldn't be doing it. He's murdering people and he don't know what's on those boats. Well, so I'm trying to be fair, right? I tried to find, I knew Hurt was going to ask this question. I tried to find a time that I thought I could disagree with Trump. And that would have been it until Pete Hegseth said, we have the proof. We can see your swimming pool with satellites. What do you think we can see with governmental, no restrictions for the government, right? And so Hurt is right. Like I literally tried to find a time and a place that I could argue against Trump, and I just can't. I can't.
No, and that's going to be another show on this because there's a lot more going on with Venezuela and that triangle that you talked about.
It's crazy.
But that's another show in itself. But it's yeah.
So,
I'm gonna,
go ahead.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of people trying to undermine a president. This is his last term, people. He's not a dictator. He's leaving office. He ain't getting reelected. Why are you so afraid of him doing what he wants to do? Because it's not communism and it's not socialism. It's the right thing to do. He's trying to get the country back to where it needs to be. It's been screwed up for years. You
And
find
he's doing it.
someone in there with balls who will stand up and fight for this country.
Correct.
And all you guys want to do is cry. You know, I got my ass whooped as a kid. That's the problem with the world today. You baby your kids, you give them participation trophies for losing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get out in the real world and they want monies, they want this, they want that without doing shit, without earning it.
Yeah, they want to
You
punch
have
cops and
to earn.
slap old people on the streets and think that
You have to earn your way through life.
correct. And Hurt, what is that one? What's the saying? You either told it to me or Mike or both of you. Hard times, right? Hard times create hard, strong men. And this is not being sexist. So include women if you want, just like the Bible. But hard times build, make, create strong men. Weak times and or easy times do what? Create the opposite. Collared shirt, salmon, pink wearing, tattooed nose ring, liberal. We're going through a weak period of time, which is crazy because we've been at war forever, but maybe that's why we have balance. We haven't had a world war. We've had the Iraqi war, the Afghanistan, war on terrorism. And that's why half the country is conservative because them and their family members or whatever have gone through war. The other half, we haven't gone through a world war, right? And every 50 years you should be tested within, and this was Thomas Paine way back in 1790 something. Every 50 years, a sovereign country should bleed within to appreciate its values and its morals and its independence, right? And its freedoms. But good times breed weak men, and hard times breed strong men. And that's where we find ourselves right now. And what scares me to death is the only way to reciprocate that and come back from that means the next step has to be hard times.
My life is a hard time.
Right.
I mean, people, I'm not rich, but what I got, I earned. What I own, I bought. I didn't get handouts. I didn't get nothing. Been working since I was 7th, 8th grade. Paid for my own clothes, paid for my own stuff. Gave my paychecks to my family to help pay bills. I've come pretty far in life, and I'm proud of who I am and what work has made me. I'm 57 years old, still working 17-hour days once in a while.
Hoorah. You
got to get it done. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to feed my family. I'm going to keep the lights on. I'm going to keep the roof over their head.
Ain't that the problem, Hurt? I think this is what pisses you and me off, and most people that agree with us. We can't understand. You and I do not understand. I did the same thing as a kid, paper routes, whatever. Mom, if you're listening, I know when I was 12 years old, my mom drove me around in the wintertime to deliver those papers. But that's the hardest part for this is it's you hear this TikTok stuff, you hear this liberal TV bullshit, you hear these liberal politicians. Do they think that the majority of us weren't poor or had to work on a dairy farm or deliver papers or go to the Marine Corps? Or why do they think that most of us, they must be thinking most of us because they're saying it, but most of us are lazy, stupid, and don't know what hard working means? No. It's the complete opposite because of guys like Hurt and I, and those of you out there that were raised the same way and do the same thing, is why you got your free effing programs, right? You're allowed to have pink hair and nose rings and punch me in the head at a Tulsa Buffalo Wild Wings with red and blue and green hair and act like a liberal idiot because I and Hurt and other people pay for those programs. While you sit around and bitch and complain, oh, it's tough, and they've done nothing. Wrong?
No, you're exactly right. I'm tired of the crying. Get off your ass and do something for once in your life. You want to go to college? Go to college, but work.
Well, I can't. I can't go to college because of white supremacy and this and that.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. If you want something, you'll get something. That's how you work in life. If you want it, work for it.
So the other night at the Legion, there was a boo-hooer and he left because the bartender threw him out. And I said, you know what? I believe that in this country, and I'm surprised we haven't done it because other countries done it, but we've never done it. I think when you graduate high school, before you do anything else from the age of 17 and a half to 18 and a half, whenever you graduate high school, you should do 2 years military or Red Cross, a country service, right? Because I heard a Navy SEAL retired lieutenant colonel, and Sherry and I play this for our kids, 10 things you should do every day, and you come home to a warm bed. He said the best thing you get from that is getting some inner city kids or maybe even some country kids that don't appreciate their country, didn't have good parenting, don't understand. They learn how to put their shirt on, make their bed. They learn how to appreciate their neighbor, their partner, their buddies, whatever. They learn hard work. So at 20, 21 years old, this country's getting flooded every year with people with integrity, work ethic, morals, and belief. What do we got right now? Less than half of the country acts like this. The other half wants free shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Do something. Be bigger than yourself is what I tell my kids when I drop them off at school. Go to school today, make somebody smile, and be bigger than yourself.
Harvey said it perfect. The greatest generation went through the worst of times, survived the Depression, 2 world wars without getting handouts from the doers. We've created a country of entitlement takers. That says it perfect, Harvey. I mean, back in the day, everybody sat there and worked their asses off. My grandfather quit school in 8th grade, went and worked in the oil fields. Look at him now.
He was a man. He was a man at 15.
He's gone now, but that man was a tool pusher for an offshore drilling rig. Now, didn't get past 8th grade, but you can give him a 15-digit number times another 15-digit number, and he can figure out in his head faster than you can figure out on paper.
So Sherry's dad, my father-in-law, it's been, I married her 13 years, whatever, 12 years ago. Half that time, 6 years ago, I remember we were having a conversation, playing pool, having some drinks as countrymen, and he said, when he heard me say, you know what, when your grandson, my second son, comes of age, 9th, 10th grade, I should just pull him out of school and just have him work for me, heating, cooling, electrical. And and I was shocked. He didn't even miss a beat. He said, you wouldn't be wrong, because these schools don't teach. It's indoctrinated, and it drives me crazy that only half of us see things like this. It's not just education. It's not the way young people talk to us adults. It's not the way that you stop at a stop sign. It's not the way you open a door for anybody. It's all things anymore are completely opposite 20 years ago.
Yes, put it this way. Texas, country, old school. When I was a kid and young teenager, and we go to the dance halls, and I'd see an older woman with her husband, and I want to dance because the old ladies taught me how to dance, and I'm telling you what,
amen.
They know how to dance. Well, I would go up and ask the husband before I even talked to a lady. Now y'all think, oh, this ain't right. This ain't right. It's up to no. The true respect. I went to the husband. Do you mind if I asked your wife or girlfriend to dance? If you say get the hell out of here, thank you, sir.
So with you saying that, let me throw this in. So with what her just told you, that's the absolute most respect that most of us feel in our gut in the way that most of us do believe, whether we were raised or not. Now you fast forward to the last 20 years, it's been recently, slap that old woman, walk up behind her on the streets and smack her in the ear and knock her down and get it on TikTok, because that's what's cool. That's my point. We went from, I'll beat your if you mess with my wife, my mother, my grandmother, or Hurt's mom or grandma, a stranger, I see an old woman getting slapped in the face and dropped to the ground, you got problems. But here we are. It was a game. It still is a game. You got people walking on trains and just dousing women with lighter fluid and catching them on fire. That's where we're at. It's because they've had 20 years of Obama bullshit, even some George Bush, but let's just call it globalism, liberalism, where they've removed men's rights to defend children, women, and the way of life. And because people start getting arrested for attacking or being aggressive, it's allowed the weak crazies to have more rights. And now you got people just catching people on fire, and it's funny, or they're slapping 88-year-old women on the streets of New York because it's funny. Yeah, you know what's funny? My boot in your ass.
Ain't gonna happen around me. I'll tell you that real quick. And you know, I'm from a small country town, and it don't happen. Matter of fact, we had a guy come up to a little country store we got, owned by a local, and this guy went in there and cussed out the cashier. F this, F you, F this, F that. We all responded. Who is he? We'll go take care of that. And we would have. We would have. If I was in the store, if my cousin was in the store, if another man from around here was in the store,
yep,
that man would have been drug out the store. You don't talk to your women like that around here.
So Hurt knows he's visited me, and I know Hurt. I haven't visited his home yet, but I do know him. He's a middle 50s Marine. I've traveled with him. We've hung out. He's been here. What he's saying is do not count on. Don't be that guy that Ronald Reagan always talked about. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. You know, Hurt knows in my area because he's been in the Legion with me. He knows people know they're going to call a guy like me, and why? When shit hits the fan, and their daughter's getting hurt, or their wife, or what? Who do the people trust? People. They don't trust politicians. In country land, 88% of this country, I'm not calling my governor and my sheriff if my neighbor, let's just say it's Hurt's daughter or granddaughter got touched irresponsibly or vindictively. Hurt's going to pick the phone up, call me up, and be like, "Hey, man, this guy done." That's what we have to. That's how we have to treat the government right now. They're perverted, right? You don't need them. We need each other. And as soon as we all start understanding that the 80% rule, right? Army knows this rule. You know this rule. I don't care that Hurt and I don't agree with you on everything. But if we can agree on 80% of things, then we certainly do agree that the government is bad. They cost too much money, and they cost us working people too much money. So quit including them. We can take care of ourselves in our own communities. The sky isn't falling. The sky's falling on liberal, big cities. That's not my problem. And I feel for those people, the innocent ones, but that's not my problem.
You know what I would actually like to see? And it would separate the men from the boys, as I say it. Let's go back to the barter system. Let's not stuff cost money. Let's go back to the barter system. If I want some meat, if I want half of this man's cow, I got to go work over there. Or I got to give him something of mine worth that. This country would go to hell in a handbasket, first of all, because ain't nobody willing to do that.
Force everybody to work, Hurt?
Yeah, basically. If you want something.
If you force this population right now in 2025, November, right before Thanksgiving, if I could make a wish and tell a genie, make this population 100% of the planet go back to the 1950s. I didn't say 40s or even 20s. Let's just say 50s for 48 hours. 70%, in my opinion, because this is not factual, but 70% would cry uncle the first 10 hours.
Probably so. You know,
Good.
I can kill an animal. I can clean an animal. I can quarter an animal up.
Feed
I
your
can
family.
feed my family.
Yeah.
I can catch a fish. I can build a garden. I can grow vegetables.
So I almost said it today when we were all on Call of Duty because believe it or not, y'all, Army is pushing 70, Hurt's mid 50s, I'm mid 40s. We're old school gamers. But believe it or not, what I'd like to tell people, and Hurt and I do it a lot on microphones, talking to people we play with or against. I would like, or almost pray, that those hardships happen sooner than later because we're all young enough to help our kids and grandkids. If it's going to happen and there's a civil war, we're okay. Most of us are okay, but I bet 70% of this population today are going to go hungry because they're not paying attention to just us or the politics or what's going on in the world. They think they're okay. Well, here's the problem, and Hurt and I laugh at this. The minute electricity goes out, panic sets in. So day 2, now you got riots, and then plumbing stops. Now shit's backing up in your toilets, and then all of a sudden you're not hearing from your government about, hey, everything's okay. So no more panic. By day 7, every TV and Nike shoe is stolen off the racks. And you know what guys like Hurt and I and Army and most of you are doing? Our food resources, our ammo. Like this is what's so funny to me. If shit hit the fan today, half the population in America would be dead tomorrow because they're going to kill each other over TVs and Nikes. When the rest of us are smart enough to go, you idiots, I need green peas, I need beets, I need beef, I need food, I need ammo, I need shelter. And half the population, these democratic cities, are going to kill each other over shit that don't matter.
That's the honest God truth. I mean, you can't. I don't. Everybody needs to learn how to survive. I don't care if it's the basics, man. It'll go so far in life, and I recommend that to everybody. You know, for the vegetarians out there, yeah, you might want to change your mind. If crap goes down and you're hungry, you're gonna have to do something. You know, and that goes for everybody. You got to be able to know how to shoot, trap, snare, clean, because you just don't go out and kill an animal.
No.
You have to process that animal right. If you do not, you're going to die of food poisoning. If you clean it wrong, you're going to die of food poisoning.
So you're absolutely right. And I sometimes wonder, there's got to be a number. There's got to be a number of men, whether they like us or not, whether they even know we exist, but there's got to be a number. Let's just call it 5 million men in this country that could probably survive, right? If shit hits the fan, but they're assuming they'll get plenty of notification and it won't be too late to be ready, right? Type guys. I mean, there's those that aren't gonna make it. Then there's some crazy small percentage of people that'll make it just because God's great and arbitrate and just trying and you know effort. And then you get that group that's under what I call me and you, the group that don't prepare, don't think, don't talk, don't have 50 pounds of food in storage, dry food, don't have some ammo, don't have a go plan, haven't talked to their family. You know, they just think there's got to be 5 million or so, maybe even more. I bet that's the biggest number actually in the population. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. You know what's not going to be all right? On day 5, 6, or 7, your sewage ain't working in the city because electricity is down. You got no food. The grocery stores are empty. People are rioting, killing each other over Nikes and TVs. And this entire time for 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life, you thought, when this happens, I'll be all right. and you catch yourself going, shit, I'm in Baltimore, Indianapolis, Chicago, San Francisco, New York, and there's real animals out there going to kill me once. Yep. You're
Well,
part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
I know a bunch of city folks probably run out to my house when all the shit goes down, but there's going to be a barter system there.
You're going to have to kill half of them.
Probably so. But
Or tell them to leave, you know?
Well, they're going to have to work, learn, and help. Because if they think they're going to sit on my couch or sit out back and watch me do all the work and I ain't taking care of nobody but my family.
Right. What scares me to death is I'm kind. I'm kind enough. And I when I say kind, I know it hurts trying not to laugh. I know Harmy's sitting
No,
there.
I know you don't take my kindness for weakness.
Right. I mean, if you come down my driveway and we're 6 months into some kind of shit and you got 2 little kids, 4 little kids, and your wife, I really want to help you. But I've got kids with me and my wife with me, and maybe I already got some other people. I will be that guy that looks at you and go, man, I'm not going to kill you. I ain't going to shoot you. But when I tell you to leave my property and I can't help you, I'm actually going to go to bed at night and pray, Lord, did I do the right? And I bet I was wrong. That's the kind of guy you get with me. I'd like to help you. But because so many weak men allowed us to get to this point, I no longer can trust any Joe Blow that just comes down my driveway. It ain't against you. I hope you don't judge me. But that's our predicament. We could have avoided this. And so Hurt and I are talking past tense, like if that shit happens. And that's my point. Think about the worst case scenario. You think yourself of a good man or a woman. No, I'll be all right. You're not going to be. Most of you that say that are going to die. So instead of getting to that point, why don't we help fix the problem now while we still have humanity?
Well, it's like where I live, Scott, and you'll see it when you come down here. Where I live at, we're out in the country, away from the towns. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Family, my wife's family's been up here for years and years and years and years.
You say up here, but folks, it's down there. He's in Texas.
90% of us that live in this area are related one way or another. It could be distant cousins, but we're all basically related. Sure. And what you city people don't understand is it's any one of these people in a 20-mile radius from me can call me and I'll be there tomorrow. If they need my help, I'll be there tomorrow. And see, you don't have that kind of setting in the city. When shit goes down, if it ever does go down, and I imagine one day it will, everybody in here in my area
come together.
We will help each other survive.
Hurt, you just stole my next segment, bro.
Yeah, it's
rural America is America.
It will survive. You will help
inner city America, NBA, NFL, pop culture, all the TikTok. They will kill each other the first chance they get when you and I are hunting a deer, skinning it because we need that skin for clothing or whatever, but we need the meat. We're utilizing it. They ain't got an effing clue what the second Civil War or revolution, whatever you want. They have no idea. My main joke has always been, what are you going to do, throw dildos at us? I already know the left can't win a civil war. But after talking with you tonight, my brain just went, holy smokes. My new recourse is telling them, you ain't got a clue because you ain't going to survive.
They won't. They
will never. Most of them people will never have a chance to be in my driveway throwing a dildo at me. They're going to be dead because they're saying dildo people killed them for a TV or Nike shoes.
Well, not just that. I'm so far out in the country, we don't have to worry about it because for them to get out here to this country from the city, well, there ain't no gas.
They're going to have to survive a couple of days.
They're going to have to. It'll take them 3 or 4 day walk to get up here.
Folks, we call that a buffer zone.
Yes, big time buffer zone. So the time they do get up here, they ain't gonna, if they do, they're going to be dehydrated. They're going to have the shits because they're drinking water from the wrong places.
Desperate.
Water. I mean, yeah, they're going to be desperate, and that just means bullets fly. Because I don't think
we could do a show on. Think about that. Desperate. Imagine what I just said. You're sitting on your front porch and you're not taking any more takers because you can, but you're a God-loving man. But desperation, imagine being in that situation. I hope and I pray. Now I'll do it to protect my kids and my wife. I don't want to turn anybody away. Who the hell am I to turn somebody? All right, God says don't, right? You have to take care of all bearers of ill will and unfortunate. I hope this, as much as some of you people think that I think that I want to do this and I hope it happens, no, because I don't want to be sitting on my front porch and look at a husband, a wife, and 4 little kids and say, get the fuck off my property. That's how scared I am. And my son, the Marine, Owen, he understands this. I am so scared of a civil war because A, I know what I'm capable of doing, but I also know what I'm going to see. But the biggest one is I don't want to turn good people away because I have to. Think about it, because I have to.
It's called survival of the fittest, but I'm going to take care of my own before I start taking care of it.
Right. If I don't have insurance.
Yep. If I have extra, I'm willing to help you out. But if I don't,
look a little 6-year-old girl in the face and say, yes, I have enough to feed you. I'd love to take you in, but because I don't have insurance,
the
only insurance I have is I can't take you.
That's right.
Because if I wake up tomorrow and you killed my daughters and my sons and my wife, or you maybe me, or anybody in my group, that is what the Bible talks about. Imagine that happening. Something like this happening, and good people not helping good people fighting good people. Why? For both reasons. Because they're scared. And God warns us of this. But I will commit that sin. I'll be like, Lord, I'm sorry. I really wanted to help that family. But imagine having to make those decisions and then go back to today's times. We're okay. We got shitty politicians that never think like you and I think, Hurt, or even what we even just thought about. They don't care. They're powerful. They simply just don't care. They don't think about, man, if I make this decision, somebody's going to die. That's where we're at. We're on a cusp.
And the funny thing is we both have friends that we know will not. Sorry, they know who they are. You're not going to make it, buddy. You're not.
Don't do it. Don't. I know you want to because I want to. It rhymes with Rome.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna happen. I mean.
And on our show tonight, Hurt, I'm gonna say, listen, whether you want to just unsubscribe, you hate me, and this is gonna hurt, and Hurt didn't see this coming. Big red record right now. I can tell. Watch his face. I don't care if you're a friend or family, but if you keep coming at me with God isn't real or Israel's behind all evil shit and Mabadi and you want to convince me that all Jews need to die like Hitler did and Jesus Christ is fake, I don't care. I don't care. You're part of the problem. Hurt might be Catholic. I might be whatever I am. I'm an ordained minister. The problem is too many of you are sinking in. Instead of having your own ideals, you follow somebody, right?
Right.
I used to do it when I was a young man, but I don't follow anybody. Hurt, you know that. I'm open to all ideals. Why'd Charlie Kirk die? I don't know. I'm still looking into that. Are Jews bad? I don't think so. That's like saying all Christians are bad or all Muslims are bad. No. Y'all need to just calm down. But if you want to keep me linked to you, liking you, subscribing to you, complimenting you, talking about you, or even having a relationship with you, do not bring me hate.
Is there not enough hate in the world already?
There's
I don't
too
need.
much.
I don't need. I don't need to deal with it. You know. I mean, I don't. I don't judge any man, woman, or child by their background, skin color. I judge them from their character.
Correct.
If I cannot shake your hand on something and know that you're going to do what you just said you did by a handshake and the word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no use for you.
Amen.
Scott knows me.
Amen.
If I shake your hand and tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to. It's going to get done.
For you youngins, a handshake prior to, let's just say, let's be generous, conservative. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but the majority of my life and all of Hert's life and Harmony and anybody else, a handshake and a, I'll do this was a contract. Just because that's the way things were done. We trusted each other, and men were men. Nowadays, CNN or whoever, or even Fox News, will shake their hand, sign a contract, and then they're getting sued because they just speak the truth, shake a person's hand, believe in God, don't believe in God, but especially if you're not going to believe in God, just love the person you're talking to or respect them enough to say, I disagree with you. That doesn't mean I want to kill you, right? The further we get from God and from our grandfathers' times, the further we find ourselves closer to trouble, because good times create weak individuals.
To all the young gentlemen that come across this video to watch the show or whatever, take it from an old man, and I consider myself an old man. If you can't stand by your word, you're not a man.
You got problems.
Your word is everything. Your word is everything. Stand by your words. If you cannot do that, I don't have no use for you.
And you know what?
I can disagree with you, but if you're a man of your word, I can still respect you.
And I'll say this. What Hurt just told you, it hit some of you right in the heart, because you know, man, every time I think I'm smarter than God or the devil, or I'm sneak right. No. If you have to think if it's a bad decision or a bad idea or a bad ideology, if you have to ask yourself if it's a good idea or a bad idea, it's already bad. It's what Hurt and I have always said, or at least I have. It's easy to wake up and love and be good. And I'm not saying, I'll be a fairy and have rainbow. No, as a man, I'm saying my grandpa and his ancestors and even maybe my dad didn't show love enough. It's easy to wake up and love. It's hard to wake up and hate, because you have to find out what it is, what's it going to take to hate this person. How do I get other people? This is why I do this show with David. Like he gets it. He understands. You young gentlemen, if you have to ask yourself, this is a good idea, am I a good man? Or it's already wrong, and you're already bad. Good men don't question themselves on that level. They do question themselves. Am I doing a good enough job? Am I making enough? Can I do more? But if you're asking yourself, am I a bad man or a good man? You're already bad.
Behind every good man is a great woman.
Amen.
I'm going to say this too. My wife is awesome. She's awesome. She takes care of me hand and foot, but she knows I can come home tomorrow, so I quit my job. She don't worry. I will have another job quick. I'm
She
gonna
trusts you.
I'm gonna put food on the table. I'm gonna do everything I need to do as a man because that's my job. That's my job.
Conway Twitty. And as Hurt and I get better, I wish right now, if we were in the studio like Mike and I in the picture, Conway Twitty, y'all, that's my job. You Google that song. If you're a dad and you're a good dad and you know you're a good dad, I recommend you going somewhere where there's no witnesses because you're going to cry
If you really listen to it.
if you truly just go to your safe place. And my son that Hurt knows, Owen, my Marine, he listens to my music. So does my oldest daughter. But he texted me. It was several months ago, but I was having a bad day. But Hurt knows this shit. Between the neurological stuff and then the recent, but I was having a real bad day, and I get a text message from my Marine. That's my job, and he said, "Dad, I hope I can do as good as you." And I don't think I'm doing a great job. I don't. You tried to be better than your dad, and I think I'm doing better than my dad, but in a lot of ways I'm not. But the kid literally touched me at the right time because that's God, right? That's my faith. That's whatever. That's my job, Dad. I hope that I can do what you're doing. And I said, I'm not doing good right now. And he goes, "You're taking care of the kids, his siblings, his 3 siblings younger than him." And I had to stop and think, well, you know what? Even in a bad time right now, I'm feeling negative. My body's bad, whatever. You're right. You're right. Everybody's okay. He had a 22-year-old Marine had to remind me that's your job, and so just do your job. And I'm getting simple now, and have become simpleton. I'm just trying to do my job. Hurt's trying to do his job. Y'all are trying to do your job. It's okay to hurt and have some pains and cry and feel bad, but if you're loyal to yourself and your family and God and your neighbors, your friends, Hurt's my friend, and you're just doing your part in this country, this all is one big circle. It all has a meaning, right? So if you're doing all those things, then there's no reason to feel down. There's no reason to be negative. And yet the other side whines, complains, bitches, makes excuses. Why? Because they don't have any of those 4 or 5 pillars that we all have: strength, faith, perseverance, continue on. This could be a 4-hour episode if we wanted to be on these limitations.
And we need to have some shows on this. What it takes.
It's so lopsided. It's 50-50.
And I really don't care about the other side on this. I want to help the people that want to be men, want to be good men. I want to touch young people that
easy, Joe Biden,
can just wake up, and we can teach them. We can show them. That's something I'm gonna look into.
So what was it, Levine? Am I saying that right?
Mark Levin.
Levin. So Civil War is one of those topics that everybody laughs about and says, "Oh, we've been saying we're going to do it for 40 years." He said something to me a week and a half or 2 ago. I don't know if I talked to you about it or not. I'm pretty sure I did.
You did.
But Civil War is not scary in the 1980s or 90s or early 2000s or even 2015, 18. Why? Because our fathers and mothers said, "Oh, it starts in California. Those are the crazies. There's only 10% are crazy." And you all have heard me on the Patriot Hour say probably 10% are transgender. But and then I caught myself listening to him, and he said 50%. It's divided. The country's divided, right? And I was trying to fall asleep and I heard, you know, when civil wars happen, it's not when the majority of the people rule. And I'm talking 65% all the way up to 9%. When 5 to 15 to 25% of the people are against the norm, there's no civil war. You know what? I opened my eyes and I heard him say, you almost got Kamala Harris elected in this country. And I went, not almost, but if you think about it and look at the numbers, 49 million people voted for her. So what his point was, folks, civil war is something people joke about, pretend about, but civil wars throughout history and around the world happen when it's close to 50-50 and both sides have had it. We've never been this close.
We're there too. We're there.
It hurt you and I've talked. We're there. And my brain went boom. Holy shit. 10 years ago, we weren't even close.
No, we get closer. And what people need to realize is the government's doing this. Or the government is actually keeping us separated. They're doing their damnedest to keep us separated. Because if we unite, we have the power again.
So what do we unite over? The 80% of the things we can agree on.
Correct. Piss on the 20% that we're never going to agree on.
Second Amendment and abortion, we're not talking about.
Nope.
Live, have a good wage, have health care, kids get a good education, borders are protected. There's 80% and Hurt, this is why Hurt and I started this show. It's the 80% rule, y'all. I know you're going to hate me some of the time. And I can guarantee you, I'll tell you to your face that you're an idiot some of the time. But if we can do that like country folk do when they play pool and play poker and bullshit with each other, play Call of Duty, look, you're take it as constructive criticism, but understand, I'm not on the dark side. You people on the other side that you know, the left, whatever, you're not on the dark side. 80% of us run this country. But what they're trying to do is make sure that they run the country and keep us fighting, like her just said. That's an effing problem. That is an effing problem. And look at the Marine. He's like,
It's just, don't get Republicans do the same bullshit. They give out lies, people. They tell lies. Look through the bullshit. Look through the smoke. Walk through the smoke. Miss the fire. Come out the other side and see reality. Let's just look at reality. That's all I'm asking.
I can tell you right now, there's 7 Republicans I think should just kick rocks. But their constituents are just as stupid as Nancy Pelosi's.
You keep on voting these people in, and nothing's going to happen.
What do we call that, Hurt? Keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results is called
stupidity.
Insanity.
And stupidity.
Oh, yeah. And now, folks, if Hurt's tired, I don't know. I can't tell. I'm getting some questionable cues, but I can't tell because he's still drinking Mountain Dew, which tells me he wants to stay awake. But why we went to the Nancy Pelosi, I'm sorry, why I went to the Nancy Pelosi. So check this out. And some of you are going to laugh your ass off. So Nancy Pelosi and her husband made more money on the stock market than the Walton family, Sachs, who's the bull with the horns? Merrill Lynch. So in the last 14 years, this bitch threw a dart bullseye every throw, right? And they went from $978,000 net equity. Her and him. He mysteriously, once she became congresswoman, he became 4th district. There's 4 bank districts in this country. He became the big shot, the CEO or the VP or the president of the West Coast federal banking system. but he wasn't a politician. And this is where it gets funny. And then they accidentally made $278 million. $278 million. And she gets paid less than I get paid. And her husband got paid close to what I get paid. And I'm broke as fuck. And then somebody made an app to follow Nancy Pelosi's investments, and she filed a federal suit. Or no, I'm sorry. Her husband did because she couldn't as a politician. So yada, yada, go for what Nancy is now faced with, and Hurt laughed his ass off earlier because I told him, I said, this is what she's faced with. She's probably not going to get indicted because the way pessimism goes. But her queer husband that was screwing the guy that supposedly knocked on the door, he's going to jail. And Nancy don't give two F's. And if she gets to go and testify against her husband, well, yeah, it was bedtime conversation that I learned in Congress, but every time, 198% success rate. Somebody's got to go to jail. You think Nancy's going to jail, or her gay lover husband of 25 years that was screwing the guy that the cops showed up and said, well, you weren't no random dude walking down the street. You were in the house. Put all that together. That family made stupid money. And I hope to God, anybody watching this right now, I don't think they're going to find Nancy guilty because there's certain people that can get, but her husband, he's going to prison. And that's right where his gay ass wants to be anyway.
You're right.
Think about the fucking information, the intelligence, and what you know.
And people, that's what's wrong with the country right now. People used to get indicted for stuff and go to prison for stuff, but there's so much power in Washington right now that nothing ever happens. Folks, I put it the easiest way I can. If you write a bad check, you're going to jail.
Bye.
They can write a bad check all day long.
Tell them, Ert, watch Tombstone. What's that? What's that red sash guy, the leader of the gang? I forget his name.
I forget his name.
But the Earps are leaving town, and he goes, smells like somebody died around here. And Wyatt goes, we're done. It's over. And he goes, well, bye.
Yep. I mean, it's just, just pay attention. It's not hard. Let's quit fighting each other. Let's get shit fixed.
Ain't that the scariest part of this entire? You talk about, we can name all conversation. The scariest thing about our times right now is there is a ludicrous side, and I'm talking 40 to 70 million people, maybe even more, because not everybody votes for the president, but we do know 40 to 70 million voted for the liberals and whatever. In our time, 40 to 70 million people think the cities are great. The mayors on those cities are great. The laws are great. Free shit's great. And if you cut that shit off, it's bad. And we want to kill rednecks and racists. Think about, break it down to its simplest form. Try to explain what's going on today to, like I do, my 5-year-old, almost 6, Willow, my little daughter. If I had to tell her in the simplest forms, honey, this country's in a bad spot because half the people have less intelligence of you at 6 years old. And they need to be told why they're stupid because they don't identify or understand their own decision making. Oh, we just keep voting for the same shit over and over and over. Oh, I can't believe what just happened. And then they attack. This is the new level. You take all the dumb shit, the free stuff, right? You're getting free shit. Half of them split off, especially here in Chicago near me. Those people are saying, screw those illegals. They're taking our free shit. Now you got people fighting over free shit. Now you expand that to the point to where there's mayors and governors saying we'll take on the federal government. And some of the dumb people in that group, the majority of that group, yeah, we'll take them on. We'll stand out there. You're going to take on guns and shields and tanks in America? Folks, open your eyes. You have a group of people telling us we're wrong and willing to say, we'll go to war against you knowing we can't beat you because we're pussies and y'all got the guns and the human manly nature to win, but we're going to do it anyway. Would you put your fucking bet on that? Think about that. They're betting on losing. They're just trying to scare you.
That's all. That's it.
I could imagine Hert's neighbor down the road. I bet there's a Biden supporter or Harris knocks on a Hertz door going, you're the stupidest son of a bitch in this county, you stupid retired Marine Republican. Pow! What do you think it was going to happen? I mean, think about that. That's what they're doing. They're threatening, and some Republicans and conservatives, I'm not a Republican, but some conservatives or constitutionalists are getting nervous because or do get nervous when Democrats say, what about this? What about this about Trump? What about this about conservatives? What about stop. Take your dress off, put a pair of pants on, some shit kickers, put a shotgun or AR on your back, and say, proof. I need proof. Because too many on the right wait and wait and wait and wait, or go along and go along and go along. They need proof before their heart and their mind tells them, oh, that's wrong. Come on, man. If you can't watch what's been going on the last 10 years and make the decision that this country is in trouble, and it's a Republican, Democrat, constitutional Senate, we got problems. It's a world problem. There's Israel involved. We got problems, but make the call that you're a man.
That's all you got to do.
That's it.
We have problems. We can fix the problems, but it takes us to come together.
Yep.
That's all it takes, us to come together. We're not going to agree on
perfect.
everything, but we can agree on 80% of the bullshit.
That was perfect, Kurt. We got the answer.
We do. So
be a man, or
if you
dig a
want
hole
to
and
debate us,
put your ass in the air.
yeah. If you want to come on here and debate us on certain stuff, I'll bring you right on up. I don't have a problem. But let's have a respectable conversation on it.
I can't wait. And Harmony, you're part of this, and whoever's listening. Hurts hopefully not struggling with this, but it's going to happen. We did it with the Patriot Hour. Sooner or later, we're going to get somebody on there to debate, and I cannot wait. I can't wait till we've grown enough to where somebody comes on here and wants to debate. That guy and me, if you're a good liberal, you could beat us, but I don't think you exist. There's no way you're going to beat me and that Marine. No way. Because we're not Republicans. We're not. We're constitutionalists. So, like he just said, if you got a hair up your ass and you think you can come on there and debate, we will not block you. We will not mute you. We will let you talk as long as we don't talk over each other, and that goes for me too. You text it in the text group, and we'll get you on. We do want that because we are trying to learn, right? And you're maybe trying to learn.
Not just that. If we can have a respectable conversation and people start seeing, I don't care what side you're on. I like opposition more than the same side as us because I don't hurt you. But if opposition comes up here and you're respectful, I'm gonna give you all the respect back. Amen. Remember what I said earlier. I don't treat you or act towards you because of your skin color or where you came from. Or your
Herc called me an Indian earlier this morning.
Yep. So your attitude dictates my attitude.
Right. Yep.
So that's how I work in life.
And what do we see, Hurt, with these TikTokers? And I know you and I.
They blast off. They blast off. They block me. They mute me. Then they start calling me names because I have a difference of opinion.
Exactly. So I was talking to Mike the other night, and we're gonna maybe we come up with an app or something how to figure this, because what I said was if there's a way to track Hurt and I's involvement on TikTok, right? a third party, right? It would be so easier than to copy and paste it and put it on our own show and say, y'all watch this shit and you tell. I know that Hurt and I will get on a show with TikToker and they'll say, what? All right, you're a Trump supporter. Come on here. Tell me, you all know TikTok. Trump sucks. Prove me wrong. We talk, then they mute us. And then they say something, and they unmute us, and we say something, they mute us, and then they say, it goes on, and then they just kick us. What Hurt and I want to do is bring those people, the ones that really hate us, right? The haters. Come on our show. Hurt's not going to hit you. I'm not going to. I mean, maybe eventually, but we want to be real. We want to show American people and people around the world, you could disagree with that man and I. We're not going to hit you. We'll give you a minute, and then we get to rebuttal. If you go across the, if you disrespect, we could meet you. But as long as it's fair, Hurt and I have never been on a TikTok show one. And I know he's 0 for 100, and I know I'm 0 for 100. They always boot us.
Always.
Right? Am I wrong?
Nope. And that's all I want is a conversation. Teach me something. Teach me something. Well, you go to bring in facts. Well, they spit a fact, and you say, well, show me your fact. You need to look it up. What? I need to look your facts up, but I need to bring mine to you? No, I don't. People, let's quit all the nonsense. Let's just.
How many times do I bring notes and facts to our show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hurt's absolutely right. Every time I've been booted off, I was told, you need to bring facts. I'm like, I just did, but you're booting me or muting me because you can't. And all I've asked for was, where's your facts? Look it up. And that's how you know you're dealing with a liberal or a lazy, and fuck liberal, F liberals. If somebody tells you this is my opinion and my point, and you say, well, do you have evidence? Because I'm a debater, right? I was born and raised a debater. Well, yeah, look it up. But you lose. Because in a debate, you're supposed to bring the facts with you. And when they tell Hurt and I and the rest of you, and I know a lot of you have done it, we'll just look it up. I said it. You look it up. There's 3 suns in the solar system. Look it up. What? But you already called me a liar. I just said there's no 3 suns in the solar system. There's only one. No, I said there's 3. Look it up. Click. You're gone. You don't even get a chance. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's bullshit. And they got 12 followers. And Hurt's heard me say shit a lot of times. Like, oh, okay, so with all 3 or 5 or 7 followers you got right now, or people on you want to have a debate with me, and then they mute me, gone. I'm like, bro, Hurt's part of the Patriot Hour group. We got 250,000 followers. You're not going to do that on our show. So have some class. If you got 4 or 5 likes or 7 or 8 followers, and you bring that man, Hurt, David, or me, or even Mike on your show, let us speak. Because you look like a clown when you mute us and kick us.
Well, not to their buddies. Oh, we showed
7 of them. All 7 of them.
Yeah, but we showed them. And then you got those idiots. There's idiots. If I'm open to any idea. Well, I'm not a closed-minded person. No, I'm not a closed-minded person. If you can show me facts on something, I'm gonna look into it.
I'm not okay with chopping a 12-year-old boy's penis off, making him a girl.
No, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about people bringing facts to me. I'm open.
You're open to opinions.
Yes, but no, you start messing with kids,
But see, that again, that would be another point where there's 20% of the people that are be willing to come to us and talk to us and debate with us, I bet 20% of them would say, no, fuck that. As soon as you and I say sex changes for minors, no. And what's that tell you? Again, as a population, a very small percentage of the people think it's okay to fuck with little kids. I see here. I'm gonna do the same thing. Put my hand.
I'm restraining myself right now.
I know this one is the most important, and you know it is most important on my list: raping and molesting and changing sex. I hope to God, and I guess we're alive, right? So the best way I can say this is, I hope to God I never find myself agreeing with somebody like you or me or Joe Rogan or somebody else can later say, you know, Scott went along with and agreed with somebody that changed his child's sex. I would hate to make that mistake, but that's also politics and bullshit too, right?
Wait a minute. Now, see, I can flip that. I can flip that on you.
I know, but
I can agree with somebody who did that because they were talked into it and told lies. That's why they did it. I can't agree of doing it. Does that make sense? The act itself, I cannot agree on.
So you're right. So I said, maybe you heard that wrong. I do not ever want to be later down the road after a show or an interview or something. Oh, you went along with
okay,
a father or a mother that did a sex change on a 12-year-old. No, I do not agree with it. That's what I'm saying tonight, right now.
No, I don't agree with what happening, but what I was trying to say is some of these parents are getting talked into it, thinking their kid's going to die.
Correct.
If they don't do it, and it's false. And the doctors.
For those of you that don't know, that's the newest craze. Is 5 years ago or through COVID and up till today, it was sex change. Now, Hurt's absolutely right. There are parents being pressured. If you don't do this, your kid will die, or he'll commit, or she'll commit suicide. Like these are numbers. These are facts. This is absolutes. It went from crazy to fucking crazier.
Yeah.
Don't let me change my kid's sex. They'll commit suicide. Then this will be on you. We're not in that world. And some y'all need to be strong enough. I hope 80% of you or more are strong enough when you hear, let my kid have a sex change or they're going to commit suicide, have the balls to say bullshit.
Correct.
You think a kid is making this decision?
Nope.
Anyway.
Well, I'm going to call it a night, Scott, because some of us have to get up and work in the morning.
Ouch.
You work.
Touche.
You work, but I gotta get up early.
Hurt, love you. I've missed the show. I'm sorry it took 2 weeks, y'all, and I'll leave y'all on this. My sign off is love each other, appreciate each other. Don't trust Republican or Democrat. Be a constitutionalist and call it for what it is and have balls.
Amen. Amen. Seek the truth and it will be found. That's it. All right, guys. Peace out. And I will see y'all hopefully before next Sunday, but we will see.